Hello guys, it's me, Donated Orb 90, and today I'm going to be reacting to Sonic Frontiers, the final preview. Get that stuff.
Back in May, when I played Sonic Frontiers for my first preview, I came away with an overall positive first impression,
As you
but
should.
also a feeling that there was still a good bit of work to be done.
Sonic
the game felt buggy, the performance didn't feel optimized, and there was a ton of distracting pop-in of objects and obstacles floating around in the sky. Here we are 5 months later, and I got a chance to go hands-on again with a PC build of Sonic Frontiers, this time for a full 6 hours to check out the first 3 islands in their entirety. And while a lot of those same issues I experienced the first time I played are still present, the pop-in and a handful of minor bugs, it is clear that a lot of work has gone into tightening up Sonic Frontiers' performance and polishing its visuals. Let me be clear, it is still an uneven experience, both visually and mechanically, but when my time was up and all I thought about was the disappointment of not being able to play more, that seemed like a good sign that Sonic Frontiers is in a pretty healthy spot heading into its imminent November 8th release. The big thing I got to experience this time around versus my first play session was the full sense of progression through each island. I've talked previously about how you need to collect portal keys to open up cyberspace levels, beat cyberspace levels to get vault keys, and use vault keys to unlock Chaos Emeralds, but there's another important element to the game flow as well: memory tokens. Each of the 3 islands was home to one of Sonic's friends who were trapped in cyberspace, and in order to try and free them, I needed to collect a ton of memory tokens. Typically, these are rewards for exploration in the open world, and they're the main reason you'll be looking out for springs, ramps, grind rails, speed boosters, and all other manner of gadgets that send you zooming through the world. Collecting and delivering these memory tokens back to your friend is one of the ways you'll progress Sonic Frontiers' story forward. Every time I made a delivery, I was rewarded with a cutscene between Sonic and his trapped friend that would shed a little bit of light on the mysterious Starfall Islands and the cute little native rock people known as Korons that inhabit. There is a compelling mystery that serves as the heart of Sonic Frontiers' story, and I found myself very interested in seeing how it all unfolds, and even more interested in the dynamics between Sonic and each of his friends, which really takes center stage during these cutscenes. Each island has a story to tell, with each of Sonic's friends being a key player in how that story unfolds. I managed to clear the first island in my first 3 hours or so of playtime, and after a very cool boss battle that I can't and wouldn't want to spoil for you, I found myself on Ares Island, a desert-themed island that housed all new enemies, mini-bosses, cyberspace levels, and memory tokens. Here, I had to repeat the hunt for the Chaos Emeralds again. In that way, Sonic Frontiers is very formulaic, but the 3 islands I've explored so far were so different that I was happy to repeat the dance each time. The one weak point in this whole formula are the Guardian mini-boss battles, which are required in order to obtain the portal keys that unlock the cyberspace levels. These fights are typically grand in their spectacle, but are rarely actually fun to play. And worse, they're repeated multiple times throughout the island without any variation. Fortunately, there are a few exceptions, like a fight against a sumo guardian that encloses you in a cage and requires you to bounce off the fences in order to bump the boss into the electrified portion. The more you bounce, the more force you're able to bump the boss with, and trying to find the right angle to bounce a bunch of times before hitting the boss was a lot of fun. And then there are the cyberspace levels, which, like the Guardian mini-bosses, varied in their quality, but were all fun nevertheless. Each is a bite-sized traditional Sonic level that comes with 3 sub-challenges to complete, in addition to just beating the stage. They are: beat the level under the S-rank time limit, beat the level with a certain number of coins, and find all 5 red coins. Even though these stages are very short, even by Sonic standards, I found that the short length of each one actually lent itself well to how replayable they were. I would retry some of them for 10 or 15 minutes, trying to find the optimum path that would get me to the exit in time for the S-rank clear, or trying to find that last red coin, or simply to try and see all the different paths that level offered. From a level design perspective, the variety on display in the many different cyberspace levels that I played was pretty impressive. Some would be very straightforward, grounded boost levels focused on speed and reactions, while others would be very grind rail heavy, and still others would shift the perspective to 2D and be a little more deliberate with their platforming challenges. Hands down, the best cyberspace stage that I played was one that broke the tradition of being a short bite-sized level and was stretched out to about 2 or 3 minutes in length and had a bunch of hidden shortcuts off the beaten path that were a ton of fun to discover. As varied as the level design is though, the one disappointment about cyberspace is that the visual theme around them based
only
on my
way you
6
play
hours
is
of
Shadow.
playtime, always falls into one of just a few categories. Green Hill Zone, Chemical Plant Zone, Sky Temple, or the new Cyberspace Highway theme, and that's about it. Still,
there has
the
to be
music
more
and the
themes. There has to
speed
be
made
more
them a
themes,
consistent
please.
highlight of my playtime. The bulk of the time spent playing Sonic Frontiers was spent running fast through the various open zones, and while it is a big departure from what Sonic fans may be used to from the series, I have to say that I'm officially fully on board with it. In a weird way, I kind of liken it to a Tony Hawk game. It's that same feeling of chaining a revert to a manual, linking that to a grind, taking that grind
Shinobi.
over a gap, acing a special trick or two, and then sticking the landing. Sonic Frontiers has that same
Yeah,
type
yeah,
of
yeah.
feeling of doing a bunch
Yeah.
of cool things, one after the other, and linking them all
Okay, I
together
wanna do
without
that.
breaking the flow.
I'm gonna
And
do
when the
that.
flow does get broken, it feels pretty bad, but the
Yeah.
more you play and the better you
Yeah.
become at the game,
Look at
the
that.
longer you're able
these
to go
combos.
without breaking that flow, leading to a really great feeling not just of power progression through the game mechanics, but also from your own skill.
I wanna know
It's
what Drake's
also
doing,
worth
to be
mentioning that
honest.
in the beginning of the game, Sonic does feel a bit slow in comparison to other games in the series. However, his speed can be leveled up all the way to level 99. The highest I got to was
Incentive.
level 10,
Giving you
and
incentive to
considering he
level up.
already felt pretty fast even at just that relatively low level, I can't imagine how fast he'll be at max level. Stay tuned for our full Sonic Frontiers review closer to launch, and if you want to see what I previously said about Sonic Frontiers, check out my previous preview. Also, be sure to check out this look at gameplay from Chaos Island. And for
Oh,
everything else,
Look
keep
at
it
that
here
movie
on
Sonic
IGN.
cutscene.